Brush lettering has taken the world by storm in these past few years, trending in tons of categories like art, graphic design, business, and more. Brush lettering can be sassy and sophisticated, flashy or understated, romantic or bold. But would you believe me if I told you that you could learn brush lettering really without much of a fuss? In this tutorial, I'm going to show you everything you need to get started with brush lettering today. I've been brush lettering now for coming up on a decade, and it's funny because when I started learning it, I didn't realize how much I was going to use it all the time, both personally and professionally. And it's really not that hard to pick up. In this quick tutorial, I'm going to show you everything you need to get started today, like my favorite brush pens, the proper way to hold a brush pen, the key technique to brush lettering, and the secrets of line weight. If brush lettering is on your creative bucket list, then stick around for all of the best practices to get your newfound love of lettering off the ground. First, let's talk materials. In order to do some brush lettering, you're gonna need a brush pen. A brush pen is a type of lettering or artist pen that has a long, pointed, flexible, cone-like tip, very much like a brush, obviously, that you can use to create a huge variety of line thicknesses. So it can range from very, very thin to very thick, all in a single stroke. There are lots of different brands of brush pens out there, but here are a few that I really like. There's the Tombow Dual Brush Pens, the Tombow Fudenosuke, the Equaline brush pens, the Karen Brush Marker Pro, and the Kelly Creates brush pens. Now, let's talk about how to use your brush pen, because it's actually quite different from your normal writing experience. And that's because it's a completely different skill. So you can still have smooth, elegant hand lettering, even if you have awful handwriting. First, hold your pen in your hand, however is comfortable for you. Everyone's got slightly different grips. Don't worry about trying to change it too much right now. The key here is trying to hold your pen at a 45-degree angle. So you don't want it to be too high and you don't want it to be too flat or too low. You want to kind of strike a nice medium balance. The trick to brush lettering is how you move your arm. We're used to writing with our arm kind of weighted on the desk and our fingers and wrist doing most of the motion. But with hand lettering, you got to approach it completely different. Instead, you want to lift your arm so that it's floating above the desk, and you need to move your arm from your elbow and your shoulder while your wrist and your fingers remain relatively still. If you're not quite sure what that should feel like, something you can do is lean back, pick up your pen, and act like you're writing on a chalkboard in front of you. When you're doing this, you're simulating the type of movement that you need to do, and you can feel it really in your elbow and your shoulder, and that really tells you kind of what it should feel like when you're lettering on your paper. Hey you! I just want to take a quick break to tell you a little bit about what we're doing here at Foxy. Let me ask you something. Do you have a ton of creative energy, but you don't really know how to channel it? Do you long for a life spending time doing the things that you love? I used to struggle immensely with my creative journey. When I was a kid, I was always up to some artistic nonsense. I was always full of creative zest. But somewhere along the line, I grew up, and it's like I ran out of gas in my tank. It felt like I didn't have time, or I couldn't, or I shouldn't do all of these creative things. I battled with this artistic rut for years before I finally climbed out. Now, it's my goal to help as many people as possible overcome these same obstacles, because making art and being creative is so good for your mental and physical health. And I don't need to tell you that being in a creative rut sucks. That is where Foxy comes in. Foxy is an online art learning platform designed to help you reignite your passion and get back in the game. With 73 courses and counting on subjects like lettering, watercoloring, journaling, drawing, and more, there are tons of ways for you to spark your curiosity and reignite your passion. In fact, we just revamped the massive Watercolor Academy that's designed to help transition students through that awkward beginner stage and turn them into practiced painters. And we're currently working on a similar project, the Modern Lettering Academy, and we could not be more excited. Foxy is dedicated to helping you find your creative spark and fall in love with the arts again, even if it has been years and years since you picked up a brush. Or in this case, a brush pen. Click the link below or visit the website if you're ready to join Foxy today and unleash your creativity. Because at the end of the day, your creativity matters. Okay, back to the video. One of the most challenging parts of brush lettering is figuring out the thin and thick strokes. The tip is so wiggly and sensitive. How are you supposed to control it? The trick to nailing brush lettering is understanding line weight. What is line weight? Line weight just means the thickness or thinness of a line. A light line weight is a thin line, and a heavy line weight is a thick line. Like this. See? When you're brush lettering, there is one easy rule that is instantly going to give you much better results. You ready? It's as easy as thin up, thick down. Pay attention to what direction your pen is moving. When it's pushing away from your body, that's an upstroke, and that should be thin. When it's coming back towards your body, that's a downstroke, and that should be thick. If you just remember that one simple rule of line weight, then you have half of brush lettering already figured out. Now that you understand brush pens, how to hold and use your pens, and the secrets of line weight, you're well on your way to becoming a brush lettering boss. From here, you need to practice, practice, practice. Knowing the techniques is one thing, but you need to build muscle memory if you actually want to create some beautiful brush lettering. If you want to learn more about lettering, then click the link down below to check out my Ultimate Hand Lettering Guide. It is a massive resource with tons of information to help you jump into lettering with both feet. And it's completely free. If you enjoyed this brush lettering tutorial and you want to see more helpful videos like this, just hit the like button, maybe consider sharing it with a friend, and follow for more. And comment below, what do you want to learn about brush lettering next?